Hey, so many of you have probably heard about this new, or newish, I guess, CluedUpp Games. They do an Alice in Wonderland game, or I think now they have a Smurf and a Beauty and the Beast, I heard, is the new one. So it is a interactive, they call it geocaching game. So I just did the Alice in Wonderland version and wanted to share my honest review. So first off, I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm not anybody, don't have a million followers. This is just my honest review on after completing a CluedUpp game. I was there earlier today. My hair is still sweaty from walking around for 4 hours. So overall, I will say we had a good time. I was with my sister and my niece, and we can pretty much have fun doing anything. So we still had a good time. We made the most of it, but there were quite a few things that when we were done, we talked about what they could have done better. So I will just share my honest review in case you were planning on doing one of these with your family. So first of all, I saw the ads on Facebook, as maybe many of you have as well. Maybe that's why you're here thinking to possibly participate. They have these great pictures of people all decked out in like Alice in Wonderland costumes, or looks really cool, like they're paid actors or something. Well, those people were not there. That's not a part of the game at all. The whole game was a physical app that you downloaded. That's it. There was no physical landmarks. There were no actual actors. There were no people that you had to interact with to complete this game at all whatsoever. So when I first purchased my ticket, there were quite a few dates that had already been sold out. So I did it for today, which is January 21st, was the first day I was able to purchase a ticket. So for me, I'm thinking, oh, it's an event. Like, I requested the day off. I'm like, let's do it, thinking it's going to be a big thing. I had to buy a ticket. Luckily, I think they were doing an 80% off sale, which is probably the normal price, but I got it for, I think, $16 for the group of us. So I would recommend not paying any more than that. And honestly, I don't even know what I paid for. But $16 for the three of us to play was not that bad. We'll get to it. So, if you're paying $16 for just an app that you can play for a couple hours, that is kind of a lot of money. So, so we were ready. It started, I said, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I think we got there around 9:30. We wanted to get there pretty early. So we get there. There's no clear starting point. There's not like a welcome desk. There's not anybody like, hi, you're here for the Alice in Wonderland. Great, this is how you start. So, we get there, we're kind of wandering around, we open the app. Everybody that wants to participate should have their own phone and their own app, or else you'll have to share. And kind of sharing isn't the easiest on small phone screens. So we each had it downloaded. My niece doesn't have cell phone service, so I had to hotspot her, which added to maybe a little bit of the technical frustrations, but I guess we'll get there. So, we arrive, kind of look around. You see a lot of people. Some are dressed up in Alice in Wonderland, little groups of people. So you see that everybody's here kind of for the same thing, which is, I guess, kind of neat about the whole event of it. So then we opened the app. There were a few instruction bulletins, and I'm not gonna lie, we were excited to get started. We kind of breezed through them, but we did glance through it, try to read from what we could, but it seemed a little confusing because we hadn't even gotten started yet, so we weren't 100% sure what the instructions were even talking about. They weren't very clear. And blew through them. Then you see a map, which is where you are, and then there's a few little pinpoints that you see kind of close by. And I wish I would, I do actually have a screenshot I will be sharing. So we see those pinpoints, and we're thinking, we're pretty close to one of them. So I'm thinking, okay, here, let's click this. Let's see, what to do next. So I click it, and it says like penalty of 10 seconds. And, are you sure you want to continue? Or not 10 seconds, 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Are you sure you want to continue? And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what I'm doing, so sure, let's do it. And then it's describing, I think it was the red statue or something like that. So we're in the park. We're kind of looking around like, where could the red statue be that they're talking about? And then so we see this circle and it has a statue. It's a soldier, you know, statue. And so we're like, okay, maybe this is it. You know, and the clue was something like, first is last and last is first, you're in the middle, where am I? So we were just kind of like standing in the middle of this circle, looking around, there was a flagpole, you know, it was confusing. So we're like, I don't know, the flag, you know, you see the soldier guy, okay, is it the soldier? There was also some things that you like family on there, like, okay, well maybe family. Those were all wrong guesses, so that added to our time penalty. So we didn't really know what we were doing. And at this point we're like, what the heck? Okay, that's confusing. So then we kind of keep walking. And then we realize you have to walk completely on top of the spots that you see on the map. So you have to walk to that exact location. Like even if you're really close to it, it might not be the exact location. Once you get at that exact location, then something on the phone screen is going to pop up and prompt you with a hint or a clue or something to do, a quest. They had some quests. So we're like, okay. So we kind of figured that out at that point, which was still a little confusing. We weren't 100%, we were still kind of looking for a physical landmark, or like, okay, it said, oh, I'm towering above you, I think was our second clue. Look on my, you know, surface and there should be a clue. And so we're looking to see if we actually see something that has a clue attached to it. You know, what's towering above us? There were some towers in the distance. We're kind of like, oh, is that what it's talking about? And then when we read the actual clue, it was like a thing about a tree. So we're like, okay, tree was, I think, the answer. So sorry, spoiler alert. But so we're like, okay, so there's nothing. Then we kind of realized, okay, there's nothing physical that we're looking for at all. It is just all in the app. And then so once we kind of realized that and accepted it, it did become a little bit easier, I guess, because we just realized, all right, we didn't have to walk to all these points. And I mean, not gonna lie, it was a lot of walking. We should have known and been more prepared, but we thought this would be in a more centralized location. So I'm thinking there's gonna be shops, restaurants, bathrooms easily accessible. While it wasn't a downtown location, Dexter's snuggling my camera. While it wasn't a downtown location, it was not really anywhere close to the creature comforts. We were surrounded by big tall office buildings, and we were kind of walking through back alleyways, having to cross busy streets. Like, it didn't seem like the safest way to do it either, because I mean, you're kind of looking on a phone, but you're also trying to navigate and find these spots. So some of the clues are fun, some of them were puzzles, some of them were kind of chasing a dot that was running around on the map, and had to get it in a certain amount of time. Some, you know, more places of interest, or I guess they were called POIs, would pop up as you solve certain clues. So it was pretty fun. I mean, we had an okay time doing it, but we were getting tired, thirsty, you know, we had to pause the game, stop in for a water somewhere and a little snack, because we were just like, oh, okay, this is a lot of walking. You know, the points weren't very close to each other. The sun started coming out in the afternoon, so, you know, earlier the better, I guess, if you're gonna go do this. But so, you know, as we're playing, we're still thinking there's gonna be like a grand finale, like there has to be a reason we all had to be here on this specific day between these times. We're thinking there's gonna be some sort of finish line where, okay, you cross the grand finish line and there's gonna be Alice and the Queen of Hearts and like something, you know, hey, you completed it, like a little finish line. Like, obviously, you know, that would be why we had to be there at a certain date and time. There wasn't that. You know, we finished it. It took us about 3 hours and 40 minutes. So I know we got knocked off of even the top 100 of people who were doing that today. So we were not in the top 100 even, but there was no finish line. You know, in the game, there is a storyline and you read. So it's a lot of reading, walking, checking the map. Which, okay, we played Pokemon Go. Like, we like that kind of stuff. So it was fine for us. The app was a little glitchy at some point. My sister had like full cell signal, but her map was not like refreshing at all. It wasn't showing the same things that me and my niece were seeing. And then also having to hotspot my niece throughout it, make sure her phone was refreshed. So if you're playing with like younger kids who might not want to hold a phone and read it, it might not be the best thing, which it sounded like it would be a good thing for young kids. But even for my niece who is 9, it wasn't, she had fun, but it was difficult for some of it for her to understand and managing a smartphone that she doesn't normally use probably wasn't the easiest thing either. So the technology was a little frustrating here and there. The app could definitely use some improvements, but I mean, all in all, we had a good day. But I mean, I booked this like a couple months ago, so I'm thinking it's gonna be this whole big thing, fair, event. It's really just an app that you download on your phone, and I paid $16 for an hour on an app. So I got 3 hours and 40 minutes on an app. So yeah, we all got to use it. We all got to share the same code, so at least each of them did not have to purchase that. But to me, what we were talking about at the end of it, we were saying there should be some physical clues. If you're gonna make us all gather to a specific location, specific date, time, give us something. Hide a little clue, tape something onto a tree, something we're looking for. Use actual landmarks from the city. So, you know, we're exploring around, we were in downtown West Palm Beach, so we're around the city. There were some beautiful murals, there's some nice statues. Those were not incorporated to the game at all. It did not use any of the physical actual city features. So, you know, that was a little crazy. Most of the time we were standing at intersections, corners of busy roads, and looking for a clue around there. Like, it really could have been much better. So it didn't use any of the city's landmarks. It didn't take us to the most beautiful, nicest parts of the city where shops and cafes and restaurants were close by. There was no physical aspect of something that you're looking for. Like, I think of kind of a scavenger hunt or geocaching. There's usually something that you're actually going to find rather than just all on an app. Had it been more advertised as an app, I feel that I would have known more of what I was getting myself into and been okay with that and could have made that decision, you know, based on that. But I do feel that it was a little bit falsely advertised because it did not clearly show, Dexter keeps snuggling the camera, did not clearly show what they were actually selling. So I did feel a little bit misled. We were a little bit disappointed at the end of it that there wasn't a big finale. There were technology glitches. I mean, all in all, did we have a decent day? Sure. But by the end of it, my niece was tired, thirsty. We all kind of were, sweaty, you know, I mean, which we expected of a day outside, but you know, there could have been a lot more of a character aspect or a game or an event. Otherwise, if they just want to keep it as an app, just make it downloadable and then people can play as they please. You know, it doesn't have to be buy a ticket for a set date and time and oh, that date and time is sold out. Now you have to buy it for months in advance. It literally very easily could have been download the app, go to this location, start the game and play at your own time, because there was really no need to have a specific set time unless you wanted to see a bunch of other people walking around and doing the same thing you are, which I guess is nice because it feels like a little bit of community. You know, you see people dressed up, that was kind of cool, but was it necessary? No, you know. So I was thinking we were gonna, you know, a clue would lead us to a shop and we would walk into the shop and, you know, maybe the Queen of Hearts would be standing in the corner and we'd have to answer a riddle to get a clue from her. Something, you know, that would have been fun, more like escape room like. So that if that's what you're looking for, the CluedUpp Games Alice in Wonderland version was not that, at least not currently. So yeah, there you go. I wasn't able to really find a good review on what this was before I purchased it, so hopefully this helps somebody else. Have a great day. Thank you.